So the first trick we're going to do is cup cup. And that's where the dog is lining up in between your legs and then putting their front paws on your feet. And then you can also add motion to it. You can start walking around. So extra here, he's going to help me demo that. So he knows the trick. He hasn't done it in a long time, and lining up in between the feet, we use it more for like the start line stay, and then he gets into a pretty, so he's probably going to offer to sit. I do like the dog to be in a stand when you do this, because then when you start moving, they can follow along and walk with you. So the first step is to teach them to go in between your legs. So you're going to use tons and tons and tons of treat. I always have the dog coming on my right side and lining up, and when I give his verbal for doing that, he knows just to come around to the right side. You could teach a verbal for the other side, that's up to you. It is good to do practice to do everything from both sides. So his verbal for this is peekaboo. So he knows when he hears peekaboo, he should come in between my legs. And I like to teach verbals to a level where I don't have to use my hands. I don't have to do this and lure them around, because motion overrides verbals. So if I have to say peekaboo and use my hand, then it's more likely that it's the motion and not the verbal. So I like to prove it and get rid of my hand motions and just use verbals only. So what are you doing? So he's thinking he has to do some stretches now. And then I also like to have them do whatever I'm asking to do until I give them the release word. And I start that right from when they're puppies. Okay. Right from the puppies with quick games down. With quick games that whatever I'm asking them to do, they have to do that behavior until release, until I say the release word. That's really how I get the duration for all the more fancy tricks like the blowing bubbles and stuff. Sit pretty. It just becomes generalized from a very early age from quick games that you do what I'm asking you to do because I'm paying you tons of cookies until I say a release word, and that has to happen in everyday life too. It's just not when you train, you have to be consistent. So I'm going to put my hands behind my back just to demo peekaboo. So he knows peekaboo means come between your legs. So I'm going to first get him into a stand, because it's going to be easier for him to do in a stand, putting his front feet on my feet. So I don't call it the behavior cup cup, but that's just the name of the trick. I just call it the feet. So first I have to get them into a stand, and if your dog doesn't know that, you can like put a finger on the belly, tickle them. You should know stand. Can you stand up? Stand up. Good. So when you start with your dog and they don't know that, you're going to have to point your feet together. So you can even touch the feet a little bit, accidental, and then when they feel a little bump from your shoe, maybe they will just pick it up and put their paw on your shoes because your shoe is in the way, and it may happen by accident, and then you're just going to jackpot that. You're going to feed. In the beginning, it's fine if you only get one paw on there. I think with all tricks, it's better to ask for less. Don't be greedy, and just continue to ask more, and then stand up, good boy. So, like I said, I like them to know that whatever I'm asking to do, they have to do it until I give the release word. So, I want to be able to toss food. Good boy. What was that? Oh, cheetah. Here, cheetah, where's your feet? Feet. So, I do some proofing. In the beginning, when you do this, the proofing, you can put the hand on the collar and you can toss a cookie and then feed. That's a little hard one. Good boy. Good boy. So I toss a cookie and I feed. Well, I should be able to toss cookies or even toys, and he should know how to stay here until I give him the release word. Okay, go clean up. Okay, so I'm going to demo again how you can put the cookie on the nose and kind of swing the dog's shoulder and head around, and until the accidental touches one of your shoes, and then you can jackpot it and mark it. I do like to use a clicker, But for here, I like to have cookies in both hands, and it's difficult to have a clicker and cookies in both hands. So then I just mark it with a yes. First we're gonna stand up. Can you stand? So I'm gonna put that shoe away. So I'm just lowering him over here. Yes, yes. Until like my foot is kind of in his way because I'm lowering him over here. I'm moving his head and shoulders around, and then he accidentally put his paw on my shoe, and I said yes, and he gets a cookie. Now we're going to see if we can get the other ones. I'm going to put a cookie on his nose. I'm going to move my shoe inwards, and I'm touching his shoe, and I'm touching his paw, and he decides to lift it up. Good. So with all tricks, what's your feet? Feet, yes. With all tricks, I don't start to name it until they're actually offering it and doing it. So my name for this is just feet, but I'm not gonna say feet, 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 when the dog has no clue what they're doing. That way you're only washing out the meaning of the word and fading it out. So once they're doing it, you can start to say feet. Yes, feet. So I say feet, he gets a cookie, feet. Good boy, that was good, he left it, I dropped a cookie. Good job. So I do a lot of approving with dropping cookies on purpose, because I do drop cookies, and just because I drop a cookie doesn't mean that you can just go and get it. So I'll drop another one. Good boy. Good boy. So feet, I'm gonna say feet. Once they're really comfortable, they have a lot of value, feet, yes. Then you can start to add motion. So in the beginning, I'm just like moving my feet like this. Then you can start to walk forwards. You can walk backwards. You can walk sideways. This can be a little warm-up exercise. Good job. And I can repeat feet. So he hears feet a million times and he gets a cookie every time. Good boy. So you're building value for the word, you're building value for having his shoes on his feet on my shoes. He doesn't wear shoes. And then I'm dropping a lot of cookies. I'm gonna toss these. Oh, cheetah. Yeah. So I'm gonna do a mistake. I tell him the cheetah feet. Yes. Good boy. Okay, you can go get it. So I only want him to come off my feet when I give him his release word. Good boy. He wants to do it again, but we all done. Good job. All done. Good pup. So the next trick we're going to do is where the dog is circling around you backwards. I always have the dog do it from my left side and they circle around me backwards. What I have done with the dog on the right side is where the dog does a figure 8 between your legs. So usually I do left side, circle around you backwards, right side you do the figure 8 backwards between your legs. This is Tsum Tsum, my puppy, who's going to help with demoing this. He doesn't know this 100%, so I thought he would be a good demo dog because it's easier to see how I do it with a dog that doesn't know it 100%. What I do when I do this inside, I like to use hallways, walls, corners as barriers, so there's a space between you and the wall or in a corner. What you can also do is use an X pen and put yourself in an X pen so you have a barrier between there's a barrier between you and the wall, and the X pen and the dog is in between to help guide you. I do like to use props, but you just have to fade them away real quick. I have never used an X pen with him. I'm not going to use it now, but I think he would be a little concerned about having the X pen so close to him. So I'm just going to do this without the X pen and see how it goes. Right, Tsum Tsum, are you ready? And he has done this enough that I have named it. Like I said, I don't name tricks until they actually are starting to offering it and doing the behavior. You don't want to start to, and I just call this wheel. That's my verbal wheel. I don't start to call this wheel until he's actually doing it. Tsum Tsum. So first we have to have him line up, and he has to stand up. So I'm holding my hand like this, in preparation to help him, to push him. So that's how I started. I'm pushing the dog backwards, and I'm switching behind my back. I'm feeding the whole time. The transition behind your back is really important. You can lose them easily. So I'm going to turn you around to see how we transition. So you're going to pick up the nose behind your back, and you're just pushing them behind you. And you are rotating your hand and wrist in such a way that you are rotating the dog's head and shoulders so they are turning tight around you. Once they are starting to doing this on their own and you don't have to do much pushing into them, then you can start to name it. So he already knows the name, so I'm just going to start saying it. Wheel, 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 wheel. And then the trick is you have to start to fade the hands away, down. Good boy. We'll take a break. So I want to be able to do this so well that I don't have to use my hands at all. I want to be able to put my hands in my pockets and say wheel and then just go around. He doesn't know that yet. I still have to use my hands, but I will try to do it again and try to fade away my hands. So I'm not going to feed him as often. I'm gradually removing my hands. It happens very slowly over a long period of time. That's how it is with all tricks. It happens slow, and you fade the cues and the props and your hands away very, very gradually. All right, are you ready, buddy? Can you stand up? Come on, stand up. Wheel. Yes, good boy. Wheel. Yes, good job. Wheel. Yay! So you can see I'm feeding less, but I'm helping him rotating nicely. Wheel. Yes, wheel. Wheel. Yay! Good boy. And really celebrate and praise them. Again, I like to use a click up, or I don't have a click up. Wheel. 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 Yes, good boy. Wheel. Wheel. Good boy. Wheel. Good boy. Wheel. 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 Okay. Good job. All done. Good job. Again, I like to give my release word when we're done with it. Right, can you lay down? Good job. Good job. So if you do this in the house and you're using a wall, you have to change up your position against the wall, or you use a corner. You may be working, you may be standing like this and they're doing really fine, coming tight around you, behind you because there's a wall, but then they flop out over here because there's no support. Then you're just gonna rotate. So in one session you may be like this, so you're kind of working on one side. You don't have to work on the full circle at one time. You can just work like on 1/4 at the time. Then maybe you rotate like this and you have the wall here. Now you're more focused on getting nice and tight and turn here. Maybe you go over like this next time. So you're kind of turning around and you always have a wall between you. So you just are working on one section of the rotation. So get that nice and tight and pretty, and don't have the dog's bum flop out. If you have this between you and the dog, the bum cannot flip out or flop out to the side. So I think that's really important to use a wall in the beginning, or an X-pen or corner. I just use a wall and then I rotate, so I have the wall on different sides of me. And then don't work on the full circle, just work on a little section. Maybe you just work on taking like 2 steps backwards like this. So that's it. Good job. So the next trick we're going to work on is blowing bubbles. Right, you just lay down with me. So I do this trick where the dog is putting the nose into a bowl of water. It's fun to use a clear glass bowl, so you can see the bubbles come up. And I teach them to do a nose touch inside the water bowl, and I do it shortly, but I have them do the nose touch until I say the release word. I think, again, like with everything else, you have to be consistent when you ask them for any behavior that requires duration and stationary like this, that I'm the one who decides when it's over. So I'm giving the release word. So I do this right from the beginning when the puppies, when they're 8 weeks old, with crate games, lots of proofing. You are in the crate until you hear the release word with the door open, with distractions outside. Then you do it with a sit and down and stay, and then you do hand touches and so on. You just build on that whatever I'm asked you to do, you do it until I say okay. And of course, it's all positive reinforcement. You are feeding them a million cookies, so they just love to do it, and it just becomes natural for them. So we're not going to start with a bowl, and when we do a bowl, we're not going to put water in it right away. It's many steps to it. So I start first with a nose touch to a target in my hand. In the beginning, I'm just asking for any interaction with that target. So it can be slightly little nose touch. Then a reward. Then I start to say good job, and then I ask for maybe 2 touches, and then I will say okay, and then give a cookie. That okay is really important, because that gives them information that it's over and the cookie is coming. Here's another little thing. I use a clicker, but I don't use a clicker like some other people do. For me, it doesn't mean it's ended behavior. It means that you do a good job, keep doing what you're doing. So many times when I use a clicker, I will click multiple times, and I ask for duration. It means you're doing a good job. Cookie will be coming, but it doesn't mean that the behavior is over. So we're going to start with nose touches, and then gradually you're going to ask for duration. You're going to ask for multiple nose touches, and then hopefully you're going to start to press against it, and you're going to keep it super short in the beginning, and then you're the one releasing with okay and then cookie. People forget to say okay, and I think that's maybe come the problem. They don't know that there is duration and when it's over. Then when that's really solid, I put it on the ground, and I do the same thing. I ask for multiple nose touches. I want to be the one who is finishing it with my release word. He doesn't know how to blow bubbles, but I'm using this for his teeter. That's his teeter behavior, to running to the end of the teeter and do the nose touch. Then when that's really solid, and you're going to do proofing with that, he's having the nose on the target. You can toss cookies, toys. You can maybe even get up, walk around him, and the dog still have the nose on the target plate. Then you put it in the bowl and do all the same thing, and then very gradually you can put water in there, and you're going to reward heavily. Also, once you start to do this, and you do give the release word, I often like to reward right on the bait plate to build value for the bait plate. So in this case, I think the placement on reinforcement is important, that it has to do with the bait plate. Are you ready to work? Alright, so we're going to start with some nose touches. Alright, can you get up? Can you get up? Yeah, can you touch? Yes, touch. So his word for this is, okay, good job. So we haven't done this in a long time to the hand, so that is good, so you can see better how I'm doing it and how he's learning. So this is kind of a refresher for him. He's used to having it on the floor. You notice how I ended with the release word and then gave him a cookie. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm using yes, okay, good job. And he's moving his nose back and forth. That's not so important right now. He is trying his best to keep the nose on the bait plate, and he already know the name, so that's why I'm saying touch. Touch is his word for it. Yes, good touch, 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 touch. Yes, good boy, good boy. And I like to be able to praise. Okay, good job. I like to be able to praise while I'm doing it and give him information he's doing a good job. It's important that the dog is making the choice to put the nose on the target, and you are not like coming in, putting it on the nose. Touch. Yes, so he has to reach. Touch. Touch. Okay, so he's doing a little bit of mouthing, and I don't like that, so I try not to reward that too much, because if I reward that, then that's what he thinks he has to do. What you can do next then, You can also put it on a wall to fade you out of the picture and do the same thing. Again, you have to be careful with what you pay for. So if they start to mouthing it too much, or they start to pawing with their paws, you're gonna not reward that. Just kind of ignore it. So I'm gonna put this on the floor. I have a piece of double-sided tape on the back on this bait plate, so that it's not so easy to pick up, because he would like to do that. He thinks it's a toy, and also so it doesn't move so much. All right, buddy, can you stand up? Yeah. All right, cookies over here, because I'm right-handed. I have cookies in my right hand. Can you stand up? Come on, stand up. Okay, what's your touch? Yes, good job. Touch, touch, good boy. So I'm praising him and I'm saying touch. Yes, okay, good job. So I'm the one who decides when this is over. In the beginning, when you do this, you're going to use some shaping. You're just going to wait out and see if it chooses to come over and just sniff it, and then you're going to reward that. Touch. You have to stand up. Stand up. Silly. Come. He's just being goofy and playful. And that's probably going to happen with you too. Come. Can you get up? Stand. I'm going to have him turn so you can see him better. Oh, you're so silly. You're so silly. Oh, can you stand up? Buddy. So what I like to do, I like to tickle the belly to help him get up. Can you stand up? Stand. Stand up. Come on. I'm going to toss a reset cookie because he's just being a puppy. Alright, I'm going to change position so you can see a little bit better. Oh, you're being funny. Come. Yay! So now I'm going to hold a hand under his belly so he doesn't lay down. Touch. 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 Can you? Good job. So yes, touch, touch, touch. Good boy. Good touch. I'm going to put some cookies on the floor. Touch. Good job. Good job. Good job. Okay, get it. Touch. Yes. Good job. Touch. Yes. Okay, good job. So once I give him his released word, I'm going to put the cookie right on the bait plate. Bait plate. Okay, good job. Nose target. Touch. 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 So I'm holding my hand under his belly so he doesn't rehearse laying down, because once you start to do the ball, it's difficult to them to do a nose touch if they're laying down. Good boy. Okay, good job. Good job. So if they were laying down trying to do a nose touch with the ball, it would probably tip over. Touch. So I do some proofing, so they should already know that it's your choice game, that if you have cookies in your hand, it doesn't mean you can just go and take them. Good. So this is only, she's going to help us with the next trick, which is putting a nose over their, putting their paw over the nose. I call it shy or stinky. She knows it as shy. I think with extra I use stinky. So this is the same thing. I want them to have the nose, the paw on their nose until I give them the release word, so I get the duration. So right from the beginning, I'm making sure that I'm always the one who's finishing the behavior with the release word. Again, they are so used to it from when they're puppies. Whatever I do with them, even the simple thing like getting on a little prop, like getting on a stool, they do that with duration until they hear the release word. So it just becomes generalized from a very early age that when I ask them for the trick, they have to finish it with the release word. She loves this so much that every time we have dinner or sit down to eat or have people over, she comes over and she offers this trick to earn cookies. And people are asking, what is she doing? Because it looks funny. So the way that I teach this, I put a piece of tape on their nose, and as they're trying to get it off, I capture it. I have used a clicker with this, so now that's funny. Maybe she associated the tape with the trick, so she's thinking she's going to earn a cookie. I'm going to give her a cookie for it. It's cute. So as soon as you put the tape on the nose, they may try to take it off, and I'm going to capture that, and you can click and reward. I have used a clicker with this. It can be tricky. Sometimes you also have to keep a leash on them so they don't wander off, because they most likely will not like this right away, but I make it very fun. I also put I give them liverwurst in the beginning. If they don't like it, I put the tape on, and then they try to take it off and get the liverwurst. They quickly start to associate with this being really fun and getting something high value. You can also use toys afterwards. So after taking it off, you play with the toys. I like to use food better for this. So the tape, it depends on the dog. I just use regular Scotch tape, and what I do, I take it off and I make a little loop so all the sticky is on the outside. If it's a good quality tape, you can use it multiple times. Often it doesn't last long and you have to redo it. For some dogs, they don't care about this. Then you have to use maybe packing tape. Maybe you even need to use something that's more visual. So you use duct tape and has some color so they can really see it and they try to take it off. It all depends on the dog. It also depends on where on the face you put it. But there's some dogs, if it's right on the nose, you don't really care. But if you put it closer to between the eyes, then they want to try to take it off. Maybe you have to put it above the eyes. So you have to experiment where they're more sensitive and try to get it off. And again, you can make this really fun. Only, come here. Lay down. I have also seen people use like a hairband, so they would put like a hairband over the ears, and that would you tell them try to take it off. I like to do this in a sitting position. They can do both. Now she's doing it in a down. So let's try to do it in a sit. Sit. So you have to be really organized, really prepared. You don't have time to put the tape on the nose, then get the clicker out, then get your cookies. It all happens really, really fast. It's all about timing. So, and I'm actually going to hold her collar while I do this. So I'm going to hold her collar, and then I'm going to put this between her eyes, and as I let go, I'm going to be really quick and then say, yes, okay, and then give her a reward. So I'm putting between her. So I'm holding her head and collar so I can put the tape on, because she is saying, oh no, I don't want that. She's pulling away. Okay, yes, good job, good job. So I said okay right away. So then it's already a trick to find out where is the tape if they took it off. So on the fur, I think it went flying somewhere. So just have another piece of tape ready. Only come. Oh, so it's still on her face. I didn't realize that. I didn't see it. Sit. So I'm holding a collar and I'm waiting on. As soon as I let go, I know she's going to do it. Good job. Yes. Okay. Good job. So I said yes. Okay. Good job. All done. So again, with naming behaviors, I don't start to name it until they're actually doing it. So I'm not saying anything. Good girl, good girl. So the next thing is I also like to put a hand cue to it. So then as soon as I let go, I'm going to cover my nose with my hand. So it's a lot of things to do. It's really multitasking. So I'm going to put the cookies away. She's a little excited. This is her favorite thing to do. So I'm holding a collar, I'm putting the tape back on. Now it's on her forehead. I'm holding her, I'm getting some cookies. Getting this way. As soon as I let go, wait, I'm gonna cover my nose. Yes, 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 yes. So I'm using yes as a clicker. Okay, good job. So she's learning that she has to do this until she hears her release word. So I'm marking it with a yes, and I'm cueing it, and then I'm releasing her, and then rewarding. Good job. So she can be done. So when you do this, we are not looking for any duration right now. We're not going to name it. You're only going to name it once the dog is starting to offer it, when you can do it without a piece of tape. Sit. Good boy. So now she doesn't have a good girl tape. Only shy. Yes, shy. Can you sit down? So, okay, good job. I'm going to take that. This is what she's doing when we eat. So we are just trying to capture that they're trying to take off the tape. Don't worry about the duration now. Don't worry about naming it. We just want to build value for doing that motion with the paw trying to take the tape off and pay for it. Then and then you are going to try to say okay and then give the cookie. I think that's really important right from the beginning, that they do behavior, you say okay and they get the cookie. That's how you're going to gradually get the duration, because you're going to delay that release word the okay. And then they're going to do multiple nose touches, and then they're going to start to hold it on there, and that's how you're going to get the duration. Alright, good girl. Good job. Good job. So this is Elvis. He's going to help us with the next trick. We're going to do the trick where the dog is holding something in their mouth. It can be a really fun trick to take fun pictures. And so you need duration for that. So I'm repeating myself. I like to do everything with duration and distance, distraction. So it's fun to take pictures where you put something fun in the mouth and you can walk away and you can be comfortable. You don't have to rush and you can just take the picture. So I like to start with a spoon. I use something that doesn't look like a toy, something that they're not used to playing with. You can use anything. I like to use a wooden spoon. In the beginning, again, I am not really asking for a lot of duration. I'm not naming in the beginning. In the beginning, I will click and reward, just like touching it with the nose, praising them. Then I'm gonna delay the click and praise and see if they offer to do a little bit more. Maybe put their mouth on it. I'm gonna click that, and then very slowly I'm gonna ask for duration. Again, I'm being really careful with me finishing with the release word, and then the cookie is coming. That's how I get the duration with everything. So we'll pretend that he's never done this before. So I'm just gonna present this spoon to him, and I'm gonna just say yes, and okay, and then reward. Yes, okay. He doesn't understand this. He already knows this, so he's like, what are you trying to do? Yes. Okay, good job, good job. So I'm giving him a marker with a yes, and then I'm saying okay, and then cookie. I'm just gonna wait for to see what he does. So he has a verbal for it, so he's probably just waiting for his verbal. That was a good boy. You gonna try again? Yes! Yes! Okay, good job, good job. So I could just walk over and say hold, and he would grab a hold of it, and that would be it. So he's like questioning what are you doing. So for the purpose of showing how to teach it, I'm just like kind of shaping it. Hold. Yes, yes, good boy. So I'm marking it, praising it. Yes, good job. Okay, good job. And always finish with the release word. And sometimes you ask for a duration of 1 second, 2 seconds, back to 1 second, and gradually add more and more. Yes, good job. Yes, 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 yes. Good boy. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good job, good job, good boy. So I'm giving you information that he's doing a good job. Continue to do what you're doing until they say the release word. Good boy. And then for now I'm just holding it, but then you can experiment with dropping it. Letting go. The dog may drop it. So I'm going to just start with shaping, and then let go and see if he keeps it in his mouth. Yes, yes, good boy. I'm just going to wait him out. Yes, good job, and let go. Good boy. Okay, good job. So I'm reaching out for him. I'm saying okay, giving permission to stop, and I'll take it out of his mouth. So my verbal for this is just hold. So once they actually start to having a good grip, then I will say the hold. I don't start to say hold if they are not offering it, the behavior, because there's no sense of giving them the verbal if they don't know what they're supposed to do. So he knows it, so I can put it in his mouth and say hold. Hold it. Good job. So he knows that when I say hold, that I put in his mouth. Yeah, funny. He's supposed to keep it in there. Hold it. Good boy. Good job. So I lost connection because I was talking. Hold it. Good boy. And I can repeat hold it. I can talk to him. I can praise him. Good job. So I just need to keep that connection. Okay. Good job. Good job. Good boy. So then once he knows it really well, he can start to do some fun things where they hold objects like this. Good job. Are you ready? Are you gonna hold it? Hold it. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Okay. Good job. You can tell he was a little uncomfortable holding it, so that's why I kept it short. We'll try that again. Oh, that's fun. Good job. Good job. Ready? Are you ready? So I'm getting the eye contact first. And that's how I can hold. Good boy! Good boy, and praise. Good boy, and you can get the duration, the distance. Good job. Good job. Good boy. Lots of praise. Okay, good job. Good job. All done. All done. Good job. Alright, so we're going to give Brittany a turn too. If she remembers how to do this. Can you do a sit? Can you sit? Good girl. Good girl. Can you hold this? Good hold. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Good job. So I keep it really short. Hey, girlie. Can you sit? Yes. Are you excited? Yes. Good job. Can you sit? Good girl. Ready? Yeah. You have to sit. Can you sit? Good girl. Hold it. Good girl. Good hold it. Good girl. All done. Good girl. Yay! Good girl.